Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky today. I'm going to try to make a eyeliner technique work for me. It's a little touch and go, a little bit of experimentation there. So yeah, we're going to be doing that and playing with the ABH Nouveau palette and talking about books and a little bit of literature about phrases that annoy us. And yeah, if that interests you, go ahead and keep watching. But before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into the makeup and experimentation time. Good morning. Hello guys. Today I want to just do a pretty little look and I want to experiment with a technique. It is taking your eyeliner from the lower lash line out to create a wing. I saw Sabrina do this, and it's a technique I've seen floating around, and I don't think I've ever actually sat down and tried to do it. So that's what we're going to do today, and I just wanted to play with the Nouveau palette. I know, I want to reach for this constantly because I love it. It's such a pretty palette. And I don't think I have used Lily on my channel and create a look with it. So that we could use this on the lid and just do some nice mattes everywhere else, and then use Muse as our liner and see how things go. I'm going to do my eyes first so I can tidy up that liner situation. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to start with just building up the crease area and going in with those mattes. I've got stuff in my way here. Oh my goodness, such a mess. I'm drinking a hot mocha latte from a little local kind of donut store rather than coffee shop. Coffee's not their forte. It's better today than some days. Some days it's just not good. But they're open at 4 a.m. So anyway, I'm going to take a little E25 here and I'm going to go straight into Paloma from the ABH palette. Paloma is this one right here. But my eyes are already primed, brows are on, all of that. And I'm just going to hit the brow bone with this. Like my brow bone needs to be emphasized anymore. And I'm going to put a little bit of it right here since we're dipping into it. My brush is just kind of stained from yesterday. My brows are a little large and in charge today. I don't know. I have no control over how these brows turn out. I mean, I do them, but they just kind of do what they're going to do. I black out. And then when I come to, my brows can look a million different ways. I told myself, we're just going to do a light, subtle brow. We're not going to go crazy. And I didn't. I just have big brow hairs and I tinted them, so here we are. I brushed them up and this is what happens. I extend my tail out a little bit because my brows stop like right here. Okay, now let's go into Fleur. Right here. Nice soft peach. And we're going to start to bring that through the socket here. Following bone structure, not my actual crease. We're going to pull that up and out. And just do a little blending. I feel like YouTubers and people are overusing the phrase, you know, you know. Like, I think it makes sense in a time and place to use that phrase. Like when you're talking about something kind of obscure or, you know, special. But it's being used in, like, instances where it just makes absolutely no sense to use it. When you're trying to compare makeup products for one thing. That is the most unhelpful thing to say. Like, for instance, comparing, like, one thing to the other. Oh, it's like this product. If you know, you know. Like, how is that helping me or anyone else watching this to understand how this product performs? Like, it just doesn't work. That's a terrible idea. Just don't use that phrase in that way. It's fun when you're talking about, like, I don't know, something silly, I guess, or, like, I don't know, like, it just doesn't work in that situation when you're trying to describe a product, because you're not explaining why they're similar. You're just expecting someone to know and to have used said product. Like, that does not clarify anything. It's lazy. I think it's a lazy phrase. The same with, it is what it is. I freaking hate that phrase so much. That's such a lazy cop-out type of phrase to me. It is what it is. Why? Why is it like that, though? Like, it's some situations, sure. But people say it over everything. And, like, that doesn't make sense. It is that way because you don't change it. Or, you know, it's people used to describe stuff that they're in control of. They just don't give a crap enough to change it or work on something. It just bugs me. Maybe an excuse of a phrase or a way of excusing something. Why am I already on a tangent? Girl, we just now started this video and I'm feisty. All right, let's go into Metro. I'm going to take this deeper into the socket line and down onto the lid. Same brush. You ever just have phrases that irk you and you feel like people overuse them? The you know one. That one is really getting on my nerves lately. Like, I've always hated the is what it is phrase. The, you know, if you know, you know. It comes off very elitist to me. And gatekeepy. That's it. It's a gatekeeping phrase. It makes me feel like you're not initiated or something to understand a topic. And again, I think people just use it because they're too lazy to explain something. Do you have any pet peeve phrases like that? Let me know down below. I'm sure I've got more. I probably do. I'm a bit of a nerd about, like, stuff like that. I don't know why. I get caught up on little things like that. I read a lot and just see, like, when I see those phrases appear in books, ooh, that really bugs me in, like, newer literature. Because it's lazy. I think it makes the writing style lazy. Like, the point of listening about a makeup product or, you know, watching a video about a makeup product or reading about a subject or whatever is because you want to know about it. And you need to be descriptive and have explanations for those things. And not just, I got powder on my boob. Not just say, if you know, you know, and then let it go. Like, Speaking of reading, though, I have been on a little kick just tearing through books lately. And so I read books on Kindle because, like, on the Kindle app on my phone, because it is the easiest way to read for me because I have hand arthritis. Holding books hurts. It hurts my hands. And yeah, it's hard to get comfortable. So, you know, I have a pop socket and the way to grip my phone, I can just kind of let it rest in my hand. I can read. So it's just more comfortable for me. And I don't have to, like, reach over and turn the light off. And anyway, so I read on my phone, right? And if you read on the Kindle app, it has the X-ray feature and it has where it pulls up, like, the dictionary and Wikipedia and translations. I fall into such a rabbit hole with that. Like, especially if I'm reading something that has, like a historical fiction or something. Oh my goodness, will I fall into a rabbit hole reading about things because it gives you the option to open the web page and read more about something. I spent at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half, reading about the history of the Philippines and World War II the other morning. Just because the book I'm reading is set in, I think, Philippines in the 90s and the Philippines in the World War II. The Philippines in World War II. It goes back and forth between the two times. So I was just really curious about, oh, when was this? You know, and, like, locations and who these historical figures were, like generals and whatnot. Because I'm really familiar with, like, World War II history, but I'm not familiar with what they call the Pacific Theater. I'm not familiar with that side of the conflict as much with, like, the Japanese and that side of things. I'm more familiar, you know, with what everybody's familiar with. And so I was just kind of reading up on it. I mean, we all know Pearl Harbor. There's so much more to it than that. So I was just really curious about all of that kind of stuff. And I sat there and read for probably 2 hours going through Wikipedia pages, and one link leads me to another, and I'm reading about this, and I'm reading about that, and it's something that I have a family history involving, so I was like even more interested. I got just sucked in, and I can be such a history nerd about stuff like that. Like, I used to love watching History Channel. What happened to History Channel, by the way? It is just like nonsense over there now. Occasionally I'll see it on at someone's house, and it's just like swamp people type shows, and what is it, the Treasure Island whatever show. Like, oh my goodness, can we just go back to where like the silliest thing they had was Ancient Aliens, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Ancient Aliens. I found that show so entertaining. I watched all of it, and actually still kind of keep up with some of the people that were on there, like on Twitter and stuff, just to see what they're up to. Spoiler, most of them, things have not gone well for. Oh boy. Alright, I'm just gonna building that shade up on the lid and around. It doesn't have to be perfect on the actual lid part. I just wanted a dusting of it. It's kind of even stuff out, or even the lid out. But anyway, the book I'm reading is called Cryptonomicon. It's by Neil Stephenson, or Stevenson, one of the two. He wrote Snow Crash, and he's like a cyberpunk type writer, which is what I like, and he's written, a lot of the kind of classics, this being one of them. And what's funny is I've been rewatching Silicon Valley, and they mentioned this book, and I think it was the last season. And I was like, hey, I have that book downloaded. I just haven't read it yet. And so here I am reading it. But it's about code breaking, and not crypto as in cryptocurrency, but crypto as in ciphers and solving codes. And that's what it's about. It's like the code breakers in World War II, and then how it kind of birthed the modern era of technology and like coding and encryption within internet communication, and like a precursor to cryptocurrency and all that. It's very super nerdy because it's got like everything that I like. It's got computer nerdy stuff. It's got like kind of a little bit of science fiction in there because there's some fictional places in the book, but it also has like historical fiction in it and real events that did happen and real things, because it's got like Alan Turing in it and actual events during World War II that did happen, but it's like fiction within that time. And it bounces between like, I want to say it's probably the late 90s World War II era, and it's from 3 different characters' perspectives. It's really good. It's really interesting. He has a very unique writing style, which I don't always enjoy. Like, I couldn't get into Snow Crash. I feel like that's kind of like a heretic thing to say when it comes to like cyberpunk genre. Everybody loves that book. I couldn't get into the writing style. It's a little too silly, like, I don't know, jokey maybe. I like kind of a little more serious, okay? I'm weird. I'm much more of a William Gibson fan, like that kind of writing style. All right, I'm going to go in Lily now and just dust that across the lid. Lily is a pretty kind of duochrome peach to goldish type of color, and it's got some pinpoint iridescent glitters within that are kind of almost lilac. Like, there's a purple in this shade, there's a peachiness, there's a pinkiness, and then there's also a gold. It's a really kind of complex little color here. I'm just going to dust that across. It's been a little warm around here lately, so I'm like into a little bit more of a springy vibe. I mean, I think it's almost spring anyway. But I'm dusting this on more as like a topper, it can be opaque. Anyway, yeah, the book Snow Crash is where Mark Zuckerberg got the idea for metaverse from. So it's interesting if you're into that. It's pretty interesting to see like the inspiration. It's kind of a little bit like Ready Player One-ish vibes. Definitely their inspiration for that kind of stuff. And virtual reality and all of that, which I'm really not that into. Like, the idea of the metaverse I think is awful. Like, I hate it. I hate every thought of that. I'm like, no, I want to live in reality. Cryptonomicon, though, is really a fascinating book. I'm already a bit, like, I like history, so it's already kind of something interesting to me. And I like technology a lot, and I'm very, very fascinated with technical stuff, or just computers and technology and like cyberpunk future stuff and new technologies. Like, Neuralink terrifies me, but I'm also fascinated by it. Like, anytime there's like a presentation about it or anything, I sit there and watch the damn thing because I'm a dork about that kind of stuff. Because I'm like, oh, that's so scary. But also I'm like, cool at the same time. And like AI. Like, has anybody played with GPT? That's freaky to me. Like, I think it's just like predictive text more than anything. It's not, I think, that sentient. I think it's more just a predictive text kind of algorithm. And they're pretty flawed. The Bing one, the Bing one is broken. Some of the stuff with it that it has been saying is hilarious because it is so broke. If you ask it like more than like, I think, what was it? They said 15 questions. It can't. It just totally goes nuts. But it was like insulting people, telling them horrible things because it was getting mad and defensive. It had an existential crisis. Like, good Lord. Google or Microsoft just maybe isn't meant to do AI because they tried this before with like a chat bot on Twitter and it did not go well. They shut it down within 6 hours. So this whole race to do the AI is just not going to be good. And have any of these people seen the last season of Silicon Valley? Things did not go well. Okay, I'm going to town with the lily shade. I'm bringing it all the way up past the crease a little bit, just having a nice kind of wet sheen. I am so into that right now. And bringing the shimmers up a little bit higher, which, you know, you're always told, don't do that. Now, it's freaking beautiful. Do it. Girl, you do what you want to do when it comes to makeup. I love that. I think that looks so pretty right there. Mascara, and it'd be gorgeous. But I really want to try this trick with the eyeliner. I'm freaking hyper. I've already had like a regular cup of espresso this morning. And then I got this when me and my husband went and got breakfast before he went to work. And thankfully, the coffee shop is literally 2 minutes from my house. Or it's a donut shop. And we can run up there and grab something before he goes to work because they open at 4 a.m. and he usually leaves for work around 4:30 in the morning. So we can head over there and like just get some breakfast. Sometimes I just want breakfast. I don't always want breakfast, but lately I've been into it. Okay, now I'm going to try to pretend like I'm coming from my lower lash line. I'm going to go ahead and like start my lower lash line like right here in the outer corner. I got my magnified mirror out for this part. And oh God, it tickles. Because I'm touching my little lashes. And I'm going to come up and out. Or just come up from there, following that line. Hey, that looks nice. I think. My eye looks really droopy. Let me try it on the other side. Then we'll mess with it and see what we can do. But yeah, ooh, that is definitely a good trick for like hooded eyes because it doesn't interfere. But my eyes look so downturned. Oh my goodness. So we're going to have to try to fix this and make them look a little more lifted because I just look really sad. I look like I need to cry. I look like a sad little puppy. All right, I'll tidy up the wing and stuff in a bit. I'm just going to try to make this a little better. Maybe I should come up a little bit higher with it. Maybe not quite so low down. This looks really fun to me in the mirror. But yeah, it doesn't interfere with the fold in my little eyelid. So there's that. Okay, maybe we should put some liner on the upper lash line though and kind of blend into that. I think that might be what we need to do. That looks a little odd on my eyes. But I do have kind of an odd eye shape. That improved it. Putting that little bit on the outer corner of the lash line. There we go. I think I'll do some little half lashes too. Yeah. Well, she got chunky. She got thick. But it improved it. This is definitely, I think, a technique I'm going to have to play with a little. Because I'm liking the concept. Definitely a nice way to adjust I did it again. Adjust my liner for my little hooded eyes that are getting more hooded the older I get. I mean, honestly, I'd pretty much give it up on winged liner. Like, you know, I think my eyes are just not going to be for that anymore. But this might have been a little bit of a way to get around it. Let's see what we can do to kind of get a little more lift going, though. Because they look a little depressed. They look a little sad. Let me take a small little brush here. I'm going to smooth that, blend that a bit. That helped. We're getting there. We're getting somewhere. Now this little brush, this is a little detail brush. I'm going to take some Metro. It's from Sony Kashik. I'm going to run that just below there. Soften it up. And we'll just be careful with concealer application. Not bad. Not bad. I think this might be something if I play with it, experiment a bit. It's kind of like doing the, what is it, the reverse cat eye. It's pretty much the same concept, but just with less heavy lower lash line. I'm going to soften this out just a bit. This isn't harsh. Alright, let me tidy up. I'm going to get a Q-tip and a bit of face primer on it, or yeah, here's a little primer. Go ahead and clean up that fallout too while I'm at it. There we go. Just kind of swoop it up. Interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But at the same time, I kind of don't hate it. But I think maybe it should be more subtle. I'm going a little too ham with it, maybe? A little too hard. So I'm just kind of softening it up with the Q-tip. I think maybe once we get the rest of the makeup on, it'll look really good. We'll just have to see. We'll maybe do that whole trust the process situation I'm always on about. Maybe I'm gonna take a Detail Diffuse crease, bit of Metro. Just soften that out over here. So what books are you guys reading? Let me know that down below as well. I've really got into reading this past couple of years. Like, it has been my thing. So I actually look forward to it. It's not just something I'm doing to go to sleep, because reading just immediately knocks me out most of the time. But it's become something I'm just thoroughly enjoying and like want to go snuggle up and read. Yeah, I've become somebody who understands the cuddling up by the fire with a book. Not that I have a fire. Alright, I think we'll come back and maybe reassess the lower lash line, do a little cleanup on that. I don't know. I really don't know how I feel. I think it just, maybe the line is just too thick. That's probably really what it is. My liner is just too thick. Alright, we'll return to the eyes in a moment. I'm going to throw on my foundation real quick because I am going to be doing that for another video, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I totally cleaned up the lower lash line because I just really didn't like the way it looked. I looked back at the footage, just like, no. I went ahead and just did my complexion. I did the True Match Super Blendable and number 7 Lift and Illuminate Concealer, Fit Me Powder, Loose Powder, a very light dusting of it. And I'm gonna try to we're gonna come back to this eyeshadow. It's just frustrating to me now. I think if I use a thinner liner brush, I might have better luck. Like this one from KVD is super thin and fine. So let's see what we can do. I pretty much removed it all from the lower lash line and just left that little bit that was coming up from right here. So that already looks better. I'm just taking what's already on my eye and just kind of adjusting that. Yeah, see, that already looks better. A little less droopy. So definitely, I think a thinner wing is probably the way to go with this. I'm trying to soften that a little bit so it's not so thick looking. Yeah, you know, I think there might be something to this. It's definitely going to be one that I need to experiment with and make it work for me. But not bad. Not bad. It's definitely progress. I'm just going to go back to my E25, bit of Metro. It's fun experimenting in a video. That way you can see all the process and how things go. It's not always goes like you plan. It doesn't always go like you plan it to. Rarely does it go like you plan. Okay, just gonna kind of clean that up just a touch here with my sponge. All right, now I'm gonna go back to that little detail brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of Metro, just Metro, right here. And there's a little bit of Muse kind of blending in the darkest shade, just where it's gonna get drug in, so that's fine. I'm just not adding any more of it. I'm gonna clean this little detail diffuse crease off. Just use that to soften everything out. So it's just a little hazy on the lower lash line and not too much. I'm gonna take my little liner brush again. I'm gonna come right in here to that little, it's a little touch right there. I think that looks nice. That really does make that look a lot longer. Too much coffee, my hand is shaking. We've accomplished something there. I'm gonna grab just a clean blending brush and just make sure everything is looking nice and soft. Let's do some bronzer. I'm gonna take NARS Lagoon. I'm kind of into it. Pulled it out the other day for a video and been liking it. Taking down that blending brush, come a bit right here. It's easier to me on a little brush to do this part. All right, and I'm gonna do the rest of the face. And because I'm still like obsessed with Luminoso from pulling it out the other day, we're gonna use Luminoso as our blush today. I'm in it to win it with Luminoso lately, man. Ever since I pulled it out for the video the other day that Angelica Nyquist put it in my head, me and Luminoso are back at it. And I think it'd be really pretty with this eye look. That's such a good blush. It'll always be one of the best blushes ever made. Stand by that. On the lower lash line a bit, I'm just going to throw a little bit of Paloma in the inner part that is not filled in. Just right there, that really brightens things up quite a bit. Let's throw on some mascara. Telescopic lift. All right. I'm gonna let the mascara dry, and then I'm gonna pop on some Flossies. And let me touch my brows up a little bit. Got powder in them, so kind of gray. Let's take a little bit of this brown mascara through. Let's go ahead and get some lips on while we're waiting for the mascara to dry. The lips I pulled, where'd it go? 951 from ColourPop for a lip liner. And just using it as just kind of a little bit of a guide. And I think for lipstick, I'm gonna go with Beautiful Stranger from Pat McGrath. Let's see how this looks. Is that too pink? Yeah, I like that. Brings a little more life in to the face. I think having a little bit of a pinky lip. Under just a touch of some gloss. This is e.l.f. Plumping Gloss and Mocha Twist. Just gonna put a tiny bit, like right here. And in the center. This makes the lips look fuller. Yeah, that's a nice lipstick. Nice lip combo. We'll kind of sort hair out in a minute. Let's go ahead and, I think the lashes are good enough to go ahead and pop some on. These are just some I cut up. They're like half, I made them half lashes. They're a style from Kiss. I can't remember which. So yeah, there's that. I'm just gonna throw them on. I find it's easier to apply little half lashes and stuff when you already have mascara on. I think it's just easier that way. I used to not think that at all and hated putting lashes on after mascara, but I've got more, I feel like it's easier somehow. That didn't work out. I'm going to touch up some mascara on the inner part over here. I feel like it needs a little bit more oomph. Very nice and blended. We just have an off day. Here we are. That's okay. Not every day the makeup's gonna come out perfect. You can wash it off. It's not a big deal. Oops. Oh, I forgot to put a little bit of highlighter on. I'm gonna grab what one's in front of me, which is this I'm So Lit from Wet n Wild, because I had it out yesterday. It's a loose highlighter, and it's very strong. So we're just going to do a very careful application. Like so. Just a teensy bit. That's all you need. I'm not sure how I feel about the eye shape today. I don't hate it, but I think it's definitely something I'm going to have to experiment with, maybe tweak to fit my eye shape a little better. But anyway, I think that is all for oops. Well, anyway, I think that is all for today. Thanks for hanging out with me and trying out some new makeup techniques. Let me know some tips and tricks, thoughts below of the idea how I can kind of tweak this look to look a little less downturned eyes. If you have any ideas of something I could do. I'm going to keep playing with it, experiment with it, because I think I'm onto something here. I just got to get that placement just right. So, anyway, yeah, let me know also some books you've been enjoying down below and phrases that annoy you. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.